So if you didn't know already, the average software engineer in Silicon Valley makes around $150,000 a year. But that's not all. Software engineers also get flexible working hours, extravagant offices, free lunches, and some companies even offer equity options. Things like these can be really big motivators to become a software engineer. But a lot of the best parts of being a software engineer are a little less tangible. Being a software engineer is incredibly rewarding because each day brings a new challenge and a chance to grow your knowledge. And you're in an industry that's growing with exciting new technology. Even in a year as difficult as 2020, when the US economy lost around 140,000 jobs in December, the software industry grew by 391,000 jobs in that same month. The industry welcomes new developers, it's filled with amazing opportunities, and it opens up doors to meet people and work on lots of interesting projects. Some of these could be with friends, or some as businesses. You could go down the freelancing route and build products for clients on TopTool, Upwork, or Fiverr. Or even start a project to automate and simplify your life more. A couple of years ago, I was planning a trip with some friends and wrote a small program to choose our holiday destination. It wasn't anything to put on Product Hunt, but it still felt kind of cool to have my code do the work for me. Another major benefit is that after the COVID-19 pandemic, when travel is freely open again, you could work from anywhere in the world. Most times, all you need is a laptop and an internet connection, and you have all the power you need at your fingertips. But what does a software engineer actually do? Software engineers build systems. We look at design specifications and tasks handed to us by other members of our team to build a system. We use programming languages, different tools, and follow processes to create software. Some of the things that software engineers build are operating systems, web applications, mobile apps, games, network systems, and more. With all this said, you might be wondering if you should become a software engineer and what it takes. Well, for starters, you need to be able to learn and research new things on your own to keep up with what's happening in the industry, because you'll need to know them to create and work on new systems. The field is always changing and growing, so you'll need to improve your knowledge by reading blogs and collaborating with engineers outside of your job. To add to that, you need to be the type of person that wants to improve. The best way to do that is to make reading and reviewing new technologies part of your daily routine. And when you're trying to figure out what's wrong with your code, reading documentation, guides, or forums naturally expose you to reading and improving your knowledge. Reading documentation trying to figure out where your code went wrong requires a lot of patience. Sometimes you need to look at your code in detail, line by line, to figure out what's going wrong, because even the tiniest mistake can make the whole program fail. And when this happens, you can't let it frustrate you. You need to be patient and carefully look over everything, maybe even take a break and come back, because rushing through it won't help. It'll only make it harder to fix. The process of fixing problems in your code is called debugging. It's a form of problem solving which is the single most important skill in programming. Almost every aspect of being a developer requires problem solving. Things like writing code, testing it, and architecting a solution all need problem solving skills. Different types of problem solving come in different forms. It could be tweaking pre-existing systems to find innovative workarounds for an obstacle you're facing, combining ideas in creative ways, or it can be analyzing data to find new insights to practical problems. The good thing about being a software engineer is that you get the creative freedom to solve those problems. To be creative, you need to be open to the possibilities. If you're a sculptor, you need to see objects as more than what they appear to be. And being open-minded is a big part of writing code. If you're having trouble with something, you need to open yourself up to solutions you haven't thought of yet, as well as being receptive to using new technologies and the changes they bring. Try new languages. Get involved in different areas of development, like writing front-end code if you're a back-end developer. This is how you get the exposure you need to become well-versed, and this is what sets apart a mature developer from a beginner. Sometimes, the hardest thing to be open-minded about can be your teammates' feedback, but being able to do so is a big part of working as a professional software engineer. You're rarely going to be the only one working on a project in your job. Even if you worked on it alone, there will be other people reviewing it, testing it, and using the product. So most companies really value good teamwork. Take someone like Mark Zuckerberg who started Facebook. He may have worked on a lot of the early stages of Facebook alone, but he could never have turned it into the massive social network that it is today without multiple teams working on it with him. If these traits describe you, then you could be a sure fit to become a software engineer. It is still a difficult thing to achieve though, mostly because it's a never-ending journey. You always need to adapt to new technology, and there will always be some gap in your knowledge to improve on. But this is also the best part of being a software engineer. You might feel like you can't become a developer because the things we talked about don't describe you, or that you have some of them, but they're not as good as we said they need to be. But that's not the case. No one's ever born a software engineer, and you can learn all of these skills by practicing. As long as you can see yourself fitting the mold we describe with these traits, you can do this. There are tons of resources to help you, plus we're always putting up videos on how to grow as engineers. And in our experience, software engineering can be incredibly rewarding in the long run. If you liked this video and want to know more about software engineering, subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or want to talk to us about anything in particular, drop them in the comments below and we'll be sure to respond. Catch you in the next one.